Coming up on the show, the one and only BulletMaiden joins us as we talk about the future of the Call of Duty franchise, our excitement for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and the changes of being a content creator then and now. This and more coming up.
It's time for the GZ Chop Shop podcast. Each week, hosts Project Itachi and War Nurse bring you the latest in the gaming and tech industry, from the hottest releases to the juiciest scoops, while breaking down all the things you wish you knew. Now kick back, relax, and prepare to have your mind blown. The GZ Chop Shop starts right now.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the GZ Chop Shop. I am your host, Project Itachi, and actually this week, Yuli is joining us. War Nurse, he will join us later in the episode. He's making his way to the studio from a wonderful long day at work. But this is our end of the year wrap up. So yes, you guys, this will be the last public episode made available. So we definitely had to do something really, really special for you guys. I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it because we've got a special guest. If you remember last week, I told you we're going to have a friend returning to the show, and it's actually been a while. So I'm really glad she was able to have some time to join us before the end of the year. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to our friend, content creator, Call of Duty connoisseur, the one and only Anya, aka BulletMaiden. Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy to have you. So, as you guys probably can guess, we're going to talk about some Call of Duty. Yuli and I were talking a little bit about it before the show started. And it's been out, I say, for like almost a month. It's been like released in parts, basically. And
it was not even fully released yet. Oh, well, by
the time this episode airs and the time you guys listen to it, it will finally be fully released.
And those of you wondering if there will be an Itachi stream with me and War Nurse on Call of Duty, to put your hopes down. Itachi doesn't want to play with us.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell y'all, just don't. We'll get to why
don't
later in the episode. We're going to get to why, and I'm sure everyone will understand after I explain why. But
hardcore, I'd shoot Itachi first. I mean,
once again, that's our friendship literally started through Call of Duty. Fun fact.
It started because I shot you. Yeah. We were in the same team and I shot you.
All because I opened the door.
No. You jumped over the pipe. It was on Rust.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. You're right. Yeah.
I remember because then you said, "Why'd you shoot me?" And I said something very fucked up.
Yeah. Friendship established in Call of Duty. Iconic. But since we're talking about it, I want to get both of your opinions. Anya, you first. Because you've been playing since like the beta, like the day the beta dropped. You were like on it, streaming it, playing it round the clock. What are your feelings of Modern Warfare 2 so far?
I do really enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun playing it, which I haven't really said too much in the last couple of years playing COD. They've really changed the structure behind the scenes and in game a lot over the last couple of years. But I am having fun. I'm a little annoyed that the game was more expensive this year and we got a lot less upfront. I feel like that was a little bit of a ripoff. Even basic things like a lobby leaderboard or hardcore mode, things like that, especially for hardcore players who are put this money in there expecting to play what they enjoy to play and not being able to do so for like 2 to 3 weeks after the release.
Yeah.
That part I'm not so fond of. But in the game, aside from all the many bugs and problems, and it's been fun to link up with my group and just roll some COD like you do. Now I'm former competitive and we get very competitive still. You roll into a game and the other team's super sweaty. You're like, nah.
Oh gosh,
we're gonna be sweaty too. We're gonna win this.
The sweaty lobbies.
Just pulls out gun our glasses.
I actually have some.
So do I. There they are.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm the weird one because I don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, you have those glasses. Don't you damn
They're not
lie to
sweaty
us.
glasses, though.
That is also true.
They're not my sweaty glasses.
I have blue light blocking glasses that I wear now, and that's less because I want to be sweaty and more because I'm just getting old. My eyes.
That's exactly what mine are for. They're just for my eyes because I'm getting old. They take care of my eyes. But
there was a time where you could play like COD for 12 hours straight and be fine. Now it's like 3 hours. My joints get sore.
Back in the youthful days, Call of
back
Duty
in my day.
We used to play. Oh my god, those 12-hour day sessions were the best.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Because you didn't realize it was 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Now and 1 hour passes, you're like, man, it's been 1 hour. It felt like 12. It was so sweaty.
Yeah.
So
why am I sweating? I need a new shirt. What's going on?
Why my butt cheeks clenched? This is so hard.
I can't be the only one that.
Overall,
when you get up from the chair after just now,
you take the
chair with you. Your whole body starts creaking. You're like, oh man, what was I like 8 hours? No, it was just 2.
Yeah, COD really has changed over the last couple of years. I think Warzone really did, when that was released, that really did save the franchise a bit. But it's been, encouraging to see like the sales and stuff that's come out for Modern Warfare 2. It's done very well. And that's encouraging as a multiplayer player to see like, oh, people are still kind of excited to play this, and there's more people on the game. But yeah, overall, I'm having fun. I think there's a lot that needs to be worked on by Activision, Infinity Ward. But I think it's a good base,
like a little canvas that they laid out.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that we have to pay so much up front to not get.
There was something interesting that you said, and I want to get both of your thoughts on this. Now, you mentioned Warzone saving COD, because we can all agree that COD was on that downward slope for a good while. That yearly release, everyone was getting tired of it, and then Warzone came out. Now, my question to you is: do you think Warzone saved COD or COVID saved COD?
It's probably like a good mix of the two. Nothing's ever really black and white. So I'm sure COVID really did have an impact on that. A lot of people having more time at home to play and really grind things out and just link up with your friends and roll a squad and everything. I think it's a mix. Like, I think if Warzone hadn't come out and COVID still happened, I don't think COD would have been as popular again as it has been because of Warzone. I think Warzone does really play a big part of it. BRs are a thing now. People really enjoy them. People in the past have really enjoyed Call of Duty, and they found a way to make a good balance that people really enjoy. I mean, I'm a bigger fan of Blackout from Black Ops 4.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. I like Blackout better than Warzone, but I'm also not a big BR person, so that's part of it. But I think, hey, what's that? I do think Warzone was a good move, and it ended up being a good time for them, in terms of the franchise.
What about you, Yuli?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it more to COVID and that people were at home, but not because people played Warzone a lot. It's because streamers used it as an entertainment tool more. Because I remember myself, I like battle royales, but I hated Warzone for loadouts. That's why I preferred Blackout. Then they shut down the servers and it went bad. But I remember watching more Warzone than playing it, because when you play it, the people are really goddamn sweaty. And I was tired of metas and people using that for loadouts. And it's like, well, can't we just go back to classics where you pick up a gun and you make it work, instead of like, use this gun for now, get loadout, trash everybody that doesn't have loadout. That's what it is. But it was more people using it as an entertainment tool than actually playing it. Because if you think about it, Warzone got popular because popular streamers started playing it. Dr. Disrespect, Tim the Tap Man,
huge.
Like they all blew the fuck up because of Warzone.
Yeah.
And now that this new Call of Duty is out, and they're mad because they can't be as entertaining with it anymore because their skills are shit compared to what they got used to. Slide canceling, bunny jumping metas.
That was something that Warners and I were.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
That was something Warners and I were talking about actually last week. Like a lot of the content creators that have not been a fan of Modern Warfare, and when you dive in, it's like to the why. It's because a lot of the mechanics that they got used to got removed. And my argument was, well, it's not a sci-fi shooter. It's not Halo, but everyone wants Halo-like mechanics in every shooter.
You know what's funny? I've been like, when Modern Warfare 2018 came out, 2019 came out, I was still playing the Modern Warfare Remastered multiplayer because that was fun. And then playing this Modern Warfare now, it's like, oh, they're kind of the same. A little bit more updated, a little bit faster movement, but the things are there. If you switch weapons, it takes time. And anytime you switch a weapon, someone's always there to see you and shoot you in your face. It's the legit COD timing at its best.
My biggest complaint: who invented reloading?
Right now, it's spawns. Spawns at their best.
Oh man,
spawns are their best too. So
goodness,
it's like when playing this one, I feel that Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, back in like high school days, middle school days, when you're just there having fun. It's just bring out the noob tubes. Like, let's have fun with those. Nobody uses those anymore. Still, I remember just loading up into a match, aiming up, shooting, and hoping
that beautiful
to get someone.
Dunk, and then you just see 100 points.
Boom. Yup. Oh, classic days.
Yeah, I agree. I think this Modern Warfare 2 feels a little bit more like an older COD. And the movement, the complaints about the pace being slower, and then no slide canceling, and just, I don't know. I saw some footage from the beta people were streaming, and it looked almost as fast as Vanguard, apart from like the slide canceling and stuff like that. Like, I feel like there is the opportunity to be a little bit more fast paced in this game, but I kind of enjoy that at like a base level it's a little bit slower and feels a little bit more authentic COD to me.
People complain, it's like, oh, you can't abuse the system anymore. Oh, you actually have to get skills and aim and do all that shit. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you can't turn a corner, jump up, get 360, and just unload. You have to like jump. You have to slide, get up, and then turn and shoot. And you can't do that because your reflexes aren't that good.
My take here is that the content creators that are being so verbal about like just complaining about the game and how bad they think it is, that speaks volumes to the type of followers that they have. To me, I'm really just seeing the same toxic type of people that are just enveloping themselves around those types of creators. When if you just have a great personality that is open and welcoming and just enjoyable to be around, you're not seeing those people complain. And the people that follow them and are in their community aren't that way either. So to me, that speaks volumes to their communities as well.
I actually have to agree with that because, fun fact, and even you, Anya, didn't know this. I was out of the Call of Duty realm for like a good while. Like, I came off and on, and honestly, it was you that pulled me back into Call of Duty.
Me?
No, BulletMaiden, Anya.
Oh,
she pulled me back into Call of Duty because of how fun and entertaining she made it. Whether she won or lost, it was enjoyable because just of the commentary, and it's like the random situations that would happen, like the bugs she would run into, like the one you posted on TikTok with your body flying off into the sky. I was like, well, somebody got sent to the Modern Warfare beta really early.
Banter among friends.
Again,
that happened in Modern Warfare 2019 and this beta too. Same yeet glitch across
into the sky. But
they fixed it, and I was sad I couldn't do it no more.
But that's proof of what you're saying, Warners, because for the while it was like I used to be an avid Madden fan, but then the constant releases, I got tired of it. It wore me out, and I drifted away. And it was the same thing with COD. I got tired of it. I was like, I can skip like 5 or 6. There'll be another one. I'll jump in whenever. And then, once I found her streams and started watching them, I was like, yo, this is kind of fun again. I remember when I used to have fun with the boys and just, just random banter and shooting the shit and, getting those W's. And I was like, let me go see what I've been missing. And that's how I got back into COD.
Maybe you got to stop playing with sweaty people.
And stop playing you.
Hey, hold up. We
appreciate-
may be sweaty, but we joke around a lot while we sweat.
That's
That's the
true.
best
Yeah,
part. You
we're
gotta
sweaty
joke.
without
That
the
is-
toxic part.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I'll play with just Yuli all the
Yeah.
time, and like I just have a blast. Like, I'll have good games and really horrible games, and it's just
we're just like laughing our ass
we're just
off.
laughing the whole time.
Well, hey, Warner's,
Yeah.
yeah, hey, oh, watch my back. And I'm like there in the corner with the shotgun, like, all right, you ready? You ready? And then, bah, I miss, and you see Warner's come down from the second floor. I got him.
I do have to say one thing I love
yeah,
about.
that's the thing.
Yeah, and I love the way Warner's comes in like a Superman for no reason. You just see him diving across your screen.
BulletMaiden,
Protect you.
I did
Yeah.
this thing a few days ago where I started doing the dolphin dive, and I only dolphin dove everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I was getting kills and doing pretty well, only dolphin diving. And I would wait for him, Burn, and Yuli to be like set up doing their thing, and I would just dolphin dive in front of them, trolling them and stuff.
In the
And
middle
they
of
were
our,
just getting so
like, we're in a shootout, and you just see Warner's.
and then they would die, and somehow I
That
would
is
live
fun to
through it,
do.
and they would just be so salty. But it was
You
hilarious.
brought problems to me more times than I can count.
It's because he'll dolphin dive in front of us, and then we'll stop shooting, laughing at him, and then we die.
Oh no.
was worth it.
That stuff's always like I appreciate the kind words about, what you said about, my stream and how we play COD. And yeah, for me, it's that stuff that makes COD worth it. Still, it's not so much, oh, I got a kill, I got 5 kills, I had a nuke, whatever. It's just fun doing silly stuff. There's times when like we've just crawled around the map, like as a group, just
I do that.
crawled,
I
and
do
the enemy's
that.
like, "What are you guys doing?" It's like, "Don't worry about it. We're having fun here."
Or your
Same thing
team
with
is like,
dolphin
"What are you
diving.
doing? I'll be there
Yeah.
tomorrow."
I'm doing intel recon,
I'm coming.
digging through a bush.
I'll be there.
I have we had I think it's on TikTok, but we made a video where I'm just going all over the map, because every time I jump through a window or dive or do something, I'm always like, and I just make a bunch of dumb sound effects and just have fun playing COD. Whether we win or lose, it's just fun to just try your best. And sometimes, their best is just doing stupid stuff like crawling on the floor, diving
Well,
through windows.
it makes me feel like maybe over the past few years, and maybe it's just with COVID and the influx of just so many like new gamers, but that's what gaming is to me. It's making fun memories with your friends, whether or not you win or lose. Like, you're going to be competitive, of course, especially with your friends, but you have fun and you make memories. And I feel like somewhere along the way, like we, as a whole, as gamers, have seemed to have forgotten that that's what gaming's about.
I blame Fortnite.
Yeah.
I don't blame
Yeah.
I blame content creators.
I always,
Content
Yeah, I
creators would
think-
start groups and be like, you need like a 3 KD to be in this.
Yeah.
Group. You need a 4 KD to be in this. It's like, I'm just joking around having fun. What do I need to do good?
To be fair though, I feel like, like especially if you're talking about COD, like the whole like what's your KD thing, that's always kind of been around. Like people have always kind of cared about.
But it's
their
never been
KDs.
that aggressive.
No, it's definitely way worse than it used to be. And the bar is set so much higher now in terms of like creating content for Call of Duty, because you got skill-based matchmaking, and it's not like you can go into a Christmas noob lobby and wreck a bunch of people.
I'm gonna counter that. I don't think the bar is set higher. I think it's just people are missing the point, because now people want to see great kill streaks and KD, and it's like back in our day, like back when we were playing, Modern Warfare 2 videos were all about comedy. Who has the funniest kills?
for real.
Who can make it? Was comedy. Now it's like, watch me get this nuke here. Watch me get 10 kills. I'm like, that's boring. You just ran around and killed everyone. Where's the laughs?
Like
So I think the bar isn't set higher. It's just moved to another direction.
I like to mess with people in my
I can
lobbies
see it.
with the decoy. Like my tactical, my
Man,
favorite
they should have
tactical
never given you decoy.
is
dude.
the
Oh,
decoy.
no.
Yo,
decoy.
bro,
No.
I use
So obnoxious to
Itachi's
fit.
decoy as cover. Itachi will blow it up, and I'm like behind it, like shooting everyone. Like, I got it. I'm using
Oh,
cover.
no.
I love
This
the
man's
decoy.
doing shadow clone
Oh my
jutsu in the
goodness.
middle of a COD game. Get out of here.
It's harder because like one of my buddies that rolls with me all the time, we're both in the Orion camo grind, but he's way ahead of me, and he's doing the decoy weapon XP thing. And so but it's just like I can't trust with no red dots on the minimap. And there's just a decoy everywhere. Like, I can't trust I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm like, wait, I hear feet. Oh, okay. The bullet. I don't know who's actually. So I've died a couple of times. It's like hurting me as a teammate, not just the enemy.
Shoot everyone until proven ally.
I can't imagine if the decoys made noises.
If the decoys made noises, if you combo it,
they're like
with the decoy grenade.
They're advanced now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like decoys in the past used to be they used to sound fake.
Well, they were obvious.
There was one. They sound like, they sounded like they weren't real, but now they sound legit. Like I heard one. I was like, who's sniping over here? It was like the big ass like. I was like, it was a decoy the whole time. I was like, wait, it evolved. What do you mean?
It's aware.
It's aware. It's not AI now.
Skynet has been released.
And I've messed with if I can fool my teammates with it, and I'm always watching my teammates charge into a room, me and my decoy, and they shoot the decoy. I'm like, then I know it works. So I just stand there like a decoy.
You're sabotaging both your enemies and your friends.
If there's no dot, I take no chances. It's an enemy.
Yep.
Yeah,
walk in and
I got so much.
Say hello, Clarice.
I got so much slack for that. I got so much slack for that in the campaign because I'm in that mode when I play COD. I'm like, okay, something moved, shoot it. But in the campaign, you sometimes have civilians. You're not supposed to shoot them. But I would just walk into the door. I'm like, wrong room. So it became like a running joke.
I would like for like the option to be like, if you shoot a civilian, just drop your gun and be like, they had a weapon.
If COD ever implemented that, it's gone to a completely different direction. There's no going back after that. Okay, so now we know that COD has the atmosphere around it has changed. It's way more competitive. It's less about the humor. When do you think that change started taking place? Like at what point did we start caring more about the KDs and the point system over, the camaraderie and hilarious nature that it used to bring?
From the best battle royale that was out there, Blackout.
Really? I was gonna say Warzone.
No, Blackout
Warzone came out. I feel like Blackout wasn't that like.
It wasn't that, but it started the competitive drive because now you wanted to win because it was like you and 100 people.
Fair.
I'm gonna be the best. So Blackout started the climb to be better, and then Warzone just took it to another level and basically was the tip of the iceberg that sunk the ship.
Warzone came out really right before COVID happened, and I think just that whole thing just escalated everything.
Yeah, people had a lot more time to worry about those things, get those best clips out there, compete. A lot of people picked up streaming and were trying to create content. And
trying to make a source.
That's why no one wants to go back to the office.
Yeah.
Like my KD's gonna go down.
Yeah. I work remotely, and
I'm so jealous.
I'm like, I want to play.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Warner's is in the office playing COD. Hold up, let me fight my boss. Punches his boss, gets back in the game.
Look, I got to do that once at work. Like we had.
You got to punch your boss?
We could bring in old. No.
That's what you meant. I was like,
is he okay?
No assault.
No assault here. Let's clear that up.
No. We used to on like Fridays at a job that I had. We used to like bring in like game systems and play in the office. So like it was around the time Blackout was out, and I brought in my PS4 and played Blackout in the office, and that was pretty fun.
See, that's the camaraderie.
I got to play at work once.
Like that right there. That's what it's all about.
Maybe it got the way it is now because when we started leaving the LAN party days and went into the worldwide Wi-Fi, and LAN just really went away. There was no more parties like just within your group, people coming over and like there was like 8 of us or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can actually walk up to your friend that was pissing you off and punch him.
Yes. Yeah. Like
the GZ Chop Shop does not condone.
You do not condone violence.
Your bosses.
BulletMaiden did not punch her boss.
I did not punch anybody.
Chop Shop does not condone violence, but I actually promote it.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the growth in esports in general that has really taken off in the last few years, I think has kind of contributed to how aggressive Call of Duty has gotten.
I 100% agree with that.
Not just in like esports, but just esports and content creation. I think they're very intertwined with one another. And I think, with a lot of people diving into that during COVID time, I think that it was just a lot of variables put together, and it's really just changed kind of the landscape of Call of Duty. And we're going to continue to see it with Warzone 2.0 coming out
horrifying
this week, and
I think
it's going to be magnificent.
It's interesting you say that.
Yeah, DMZ,
I think it's interesting you said that about esports, because I've been to 2 esports competitions in the past couple of years. I went to an Overwatch one, and I've been to a Call of Duty one, and I had so much fun. It was like being in a rave half the time with all the lights and people, like the atmosphere. It was a great time. But I also noticed, just because you brought it up, I noticed that connection or that parallel between how people are at a live sports games and the esports. There was still the booing, the yelling, the anger. That stuff was still there, and it's definitely something that's grown with esports.
Once you bring money into the mix, it will instantly change.
Money and competitiveness.
Yeah. And the competitive stems from the money because of how much money is on the line. So at this point,
and how many people you're up, how many people you're competing against nowadays, like pre-COVID, I feel like there was not as many streamers, content creators in general as there are.
No.
I feel like now it really boomed. It boomed so much after COVID or during COVID, and now somewhat post-COVID. And it's just a very different environment. And like that mention of esports earlier is also kind of like, a lot of people maybe don't agree with me on this, and I always do tend to have unorthodox opinions.
Well, they're wrong.
Well, like, for instance, if you take Ninja, right? I feel like he really made huge strides for the gaming industry in terms of visibility outside of just the gaming world. Like, he brought a lot of mainstream eyes to gaming and streaming, and that really brought a lot more people into it as well. And I think that, like, just things have, I feel like the whole industry is like just gaming, esport, all of it's just boomed so much very rapidly over the last couple of years. And that's just contributed to not just, Fortnite, Call of Duty, it's just all of it. Apex came out right before pandemic. It's like 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. And all of those, they're just competitive games by nature. And then it's just like I said higher bar earlier, and maybe you're right with it being more like just a shifting over to another area. Yeah. but yeah, I think it's just a lot of variables, and just a boom overall in the last couple of years has just really contributed to the change in everything that we're seeing. I don't think we'll go back to how gaming was in the past.
No.
You don't think it's going to be like a pendulum swing where it goes this far right now, but now that COVID's over and people are getting back into work, it's going to swing the other way and kind of normalize itself?
I don't think so. There's too much money.
There's too much money. Too many people have already quit their 9-to-5s.
It's the biggest. The gaming industry is the biggest form of media entertainment in the world now.
And if COVID proved anything,
2.5, 3 years, it blew everything else out of the water financially.
Yeah. It's massively global. It's easy to get into, produce. Like, you don't need an agent to get started. You don't need backing of anybody. You really just need a little equipment and yourself and your smarts, your marketing, thinking about how to build your brand and things like that. Like, it's just, I don't think it's gonna swing back to what it was
entrepreneurship
10 years ago.
I mean, we literally
it is really more like
we literally proved our parents wrong too. By
you can't make money.
You're not gonna make money gaming.
You gotta go.
Hold my beer. 2012.
You see this check? You see this check? This is gonna pay for your retirement home when I put you in there now. I kept talking all this shit.
But no,
I would love to do that. Yeah. When I was a kid and I was playing Pokemon Yellow on my Game Boy Color before going to school, and then coming home and doing it again. People do this now, 9-to-5, play Pokemon, make money.
Play Pokemon, make money.
It's really evolved. It's a viable way to earn a living now. It's interesting to see how humans evolve. We go from like newspaper, telephone to like internet, and now like earning money.
Oh, and it was a
while playing
rapid
games.
change. It wasn't like a simple like 100-year change. It went from internet.
Yeah.
We're there.
Another.
I know we kind of flew away from college. Yeah.
My
all of that. That's the answer.
That's normal for this.
That's what we do. We connect all the dots and everything. But no, I do want to piggyback off of, why the pendulum won't swing back the other way unless we had a complete society collapse. If anything, COVID showed.
I mean, we're close to one.
I mean, yeah, but that's the only way it would go back. And even then, it's not a guarantee because of pretty much how easy you can do stuff on the internet.
I don't know. It's Putin.
All right. That's enough for you, Yuli. That's enough for you, Yuli. You're gonna take us in a whole other.
The missiles might come out. End of world. We get to play Fallout IRL.
Man.
Oh no!
But no, like
I still think we would find like a way to be resilient just by internet. like the way that we were able to keep the world going during COVID.
Exactly.
Because we had the internet was insane, and like even like when the war started, it was interesting to see how creative people were using the internet to be involved in that.
It's like I said before, Itachi. It's like the past 2 years, everyone like. Everyone's like, we want our gaming, and you will not touch OnlyFans.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We got our priorities.
Because both have been everyone tried to shut down both, and then the entire world was like, no, you're not.
Not my.
I'm sorry. You say what? You said what?
Just kidding. No.
What? Boomer? You say what, Boomer? Boomer say what?
I'm really happy I got to make this because I thought work was in my way. Like, and I know you guys, y'all can appreciate how hard it can be as a content creator from like working full time and then trying to be a content creator full time. So I thought I was going to miss being able to talk to BulletMaiden because I missed you last time. I was working. So
that's right.
I was like, oh shit, I'm actually going to be able to do. So I was like really excited.
Yeah. Oh man, I understand that grind. I work full time, 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, and then all the streaming, and now I've picked up kind of like trying to grow on YouTube, and that's another grind. Trying to get content out there religiously while then streaming multiple hours in between that and working 40 hours a week. It's been fun and exhausting.
But that's a good thing though. And I guess since we're already leaning that way, we can talk about content creation and how it's changed. When we had Wild for Games earlier this year, and he was talking about a lot of content creators, they set themselves up for failure because they don't broaden beyond their comfort zone. They get on Twitch, and then it's this fear, or whatever platform they start with, and they grow there, and then they have this fear of, well, if I don't do this only consistently, I'll lose it. I'll lose traction. And they don't expand beyond it because they know, like, okay, well, if I stream on Twitch 8 hours a day, I don't have time to do YouTube. I don't have time to, make a website. I don't have time for that. That 8 hours, that's where my money comes from. That's where my people come from. And how that's actually hurting you, because at some point you will plateau out. And because you didn't start planting seeds somewhere else, you've wound up just hurting yourself in the long run. So it's actually really good that you've started expanding and you're doing like your TikToks and your YouTube video, because now you can build a community elsewhere, and then eventually that those small communities, you can start bringing them together into this bigger community, and then it's like no matter what you do, you'll have eyes on you in those different places. Because that's a lesson that I had to learn, pretty early in, putting up YouTube videos, because if you edit your own videos, that's time consuming. And it can be, and when you first sit down, you got all these ideas like, oh, I'm going to do this. It's going to be like this. And then you start and you're like, ooh, why did I do this? Like, this is going to hurt more than I thought it was. but it's rewarding
Yeah.
in the end once you finally finish, you finally upload it, and you see your community come in and they're like, yo, that was hilarious, yo, that was funny, like this was good, and you're like, that's why I did it, that's why I died 100 times in Elden Ring. So you could laugh at me.
Oh, God. Yeah, Lord, that game. Yeah, you know, I've been streaming on Twitch for 4 years. And yeah, the community thing is definitely the most important part of all of it. You know, I've taken many breaks. I took a break this year, actually. I hadn't streamed since December of last year, and I started again in August of this year. So that was quite a break. And shockingly, you know, or maybe not shockingly, but this is the thing about the community aspect of it, is the people that have always come out to the stream every day, who have always come and said hi and told me about their life and shared their day with me and played games with me. They came back even after 8 months. And, you know, I've taken longer breaks. Well, I've taken longer breaks one before. And those same people have come back and we caught up like we were old friends. And, you know, that's really been the great thing about community. Like I don't know. Yeah, you know, I'm starting the YouTube down and the TikTok, and it's been fun to grow communities there as well. But yeah, I think I was very close to quitting this year. And it was really because of the people that I get to talk to when I go live that I came back and kept it going. So yeah, definitely the community thing is really, I think, the most vital part of being a streamer and to being successful at it. But I will say that I feel like, you know, yes, Twitch is the dominating force when it comes to live streaming as a platform, right? But it's interesting if you compare other platforms, right? So like I've noticed with this grind on YouTube and this grind on TikTok and Twitch, you know, I've noticed that I think, like you mentioned, eventually you'll be able to kind of link your communities together. But I think at least in my stage where I'm at right now, they're all separate entities. Like it's harder to circulate people from one platform to another because, you know, it takes effort. Yeah. People don't, you know, in general, we're very let's get it going, you know? So like, but here's the thing, TikTok offers live streaming, right? So your viewers on TikTok, your community on TikTok, they can watch your videos and then they can watch you live on TikTok. They don't really have a need to go to Twitch. Same on YouTube. YouTube offers live streaming. It's interesting though, Twitch doesn't offer any sort of like really like a host, like a come watch my videos platform. Come watch my, you know,
it's like a missed opportunity.
Twitch doesn't have that, but Twitch, it is, because I was thinking about it the other day, like Twitch is the one platform out of these, I guess, the three major players right now in content creation, that doesn't offer like that piece of it. YouTube obviously is the dominating force when it comes to recording.
Yeah, they kind of do the opposite. They just delete your videos after 24 hours.
yeah.
That's enough for you. So, come back tomorrow if you want to see the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting kind of experiencing, you know, all of these different platforms now. You know, and I've talked to a lot of people, you know, who do stream on YouTube about the experience on streaming on YouTube, and you know, they've been like, you know, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Twitch does. It's not as fun as Twitch, but it's just, I guess the point of all that was just saying that, like, you know, yeah, like to Tati's point, as a content creator, you really do have to put your eggs in multiple baskets, step out of your comfort zone, get to know people everywhere, different platforms, to really kind of experience, I think, growth. I think it's necessary now. Like you could, I think in the past, years ago, you could just stream on Twitch. It'd be cool. Yeah. You know, now there's so many people doing that discoverability, I think, is really, it's much harder than it used to be. And now it's not just about, you know, before it was like post your clips on Instagram, post them on Twitter to get people to come to your Twitch. Now it's not about directing people to your Twitch or your YouTube live. Now it's kind of about building those communities in different places, and just providing content that they want to consume.
And the algorithms on all these platforms change so rapidly now.
YouTube was a tough one to figure out, man. I think it took you and me a couple of months of learning from other people and doing research and stuff to get it down to where you had some videos that did very well. So yeah, YouTube's is like weird though. They have a weird algorithm. It's hard to like get down.
It's very targeted.
Does his job though.
Like
super.
You know, Yeah, it does. It does. When you get into it, it does its job very well. I think, I read or was watching a video somewhere that was kind of discussing, like, they really kind of funnel you. I guess the challenge is getting eyes on you that haven't already seen you on YouTube. And then you look at TikTok, which started off with a really easy algorithm. And now it's become so targeted as well. It's also it's just got discoverability across the board. It's just much more
TikTok's starting
which
to
is
get,
not a terrible thing.
TikTok's starting to get creepy. I'll be talking about something stupid with friends like birds or something, and then I'll turn on TikTok and it's like, there's a bird. I'm like, what?
Yeah. But they all
I never looked up birds.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, they all do that now. And the problem,
I don't know how I feel about it.
they're always listening.
If they're always listening, they don't got the right ads for me because I'm always like looking. I'm like, why the fuck would I buy this? And then just click out of it.
Well, I mean, you also live in a household of probably more than 4 people. So there's
because I'm Mexican. You think there's more than 4 people that live in here?
Absolutely. I have a small family. If anything, I'm envious.
So Yuli, were we wrong?
I mean, I got a couple cousins staying with us right now.
Okay. But no, what a lot of people don't know is in your household, when they're collecting all the information, they base it off of the people in your immediate household. So if you've got roommates, if you got friends, you're getting information about their interests sometimes without even realizing it. Which if you ever get like weird emails and you're like, where the heck does this come from? You might want to look at the people you're living with.
Hey, explain this.
Hey, explain this. What is this about swimsuit babes? What? Oh,
what? Oh, no,
God.
no. Don't worry about it, but send me the link.
Send me the link. You weren't supposed to get that email.
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend, asking for research purposes.
Oh, no, you don't do that. But like, no, that's just for me, dog. I'll be honest.
But
I had a job where I was working, I work in data, and I was doing a lot of projects on very strange topics. So doing research. Well, I did a campaign once on like porn, extreme porn.
So this was going in the direction that I thought it was.
So I had to. Well, no, but I had to like Google stuff that I didn't know about, and that.
I was gonna say Google never let you forget
recommendations and stuff. I also did like stuff on like seniors, so I'd get like diaper recommendations, like adult diapers, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Those come in clutch in a drunken blackout night.
I can see it.
Good to know. Good, thank you for that input, Yuli.
If it works,
it works. So we now know we talk about the YouTube algorithm and how things get complicated and how they constantly change it, which my running theory is it intentionally gets more complicated because a lot of these companies want to dominate them, and it's easier to discourage us away from them than to just pay us our worth. Because I honestly don't believe that there's a person on this planet that couldn't become a content creator. 100% every single person on this planet could become a content creator. You might think you have nothing to offer, but you do. There's always a talent. There's always a talent. Regardless of what it is.
Oh, God.
That someone would find interesting.
I had to find the worst person that I can say without offending people.
I don't know how you thought of that.
Oh my God! Don't get him started. Please don't encourage him.
You do not know.
Okay,
me
never mind.
Don't get him going.
Someone, how do you mute somebody
that.
entirely for the next however long?
But yeah, I feel like a lot of corporations, they just got their hands involved, and because they want to saturate these platforms with ads, and then they only want the top performers, they've cultivated ways to keep a lot of people at bay, because it's almost like a net. They throw it out, and then who slips through? Most people are just going to be like, I don't want any of this. This is too much work. My 9 to 5 is actually easier. And they're like, cool, we've weeded those people out. And then everyone else eventually gets worn out from the grind, the burnout. Like, I've taken a long break, and Well, I mean, you even said, I was almost done. More than likely due to the burnout. Eventually the ROI, the return on investment, just doesn't seem to weigh in. And then boom, that weeds people out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say though, like, we talk about discoverability getting harder and the ads incentives that other, on all these platforms. And I don't know. If you look at like sports, you look at the music industry, actors, actresses, they make tons of money because they made it big.
Mhm.
And gaming's kind of like that now. Like you need a little bit of luck on your side. You can be talented, you can be funny, you can be a great personality, but without the discoverability, you need, it's kind of like those industries. I think that's how I kind of liken it to now. So, yeah, it sucks that corporations have really gotten into it now, but it's become sort of like those, like if you do make it in gaming, it's quite lucrative. It's maybe, it's not as consistent as like without contracts like artists have, or sports athletes. It's not as consistent, but it's sort of getting there. We're starting to see more contracts rolling out from bigger platforms for bigger bigger content creators. Yeah, so I think it's just not, maybe I'm not saying it was easy before, but it's not as easy as it has been in the past to get discovered as a content creator. And it's now more of like it's just become another thing, like being the, getting that what do they call them, when you're a football player and they're in the stands watching you? Are they recruiters? Is that what
Scouted?
Recruiters.
I don't know.
Scouters, yes.
Yeah, getting scouted. Like it's sort of like that. Like you just kind of have to, there's definitely a different kind of grind here because you got to build a community. Community's got to continue to grow along with you, and there, it's a different kind of incline. But yeah, I think it's a little bit more like that now. That's how I kind of like it in my mind.
There's also a huge another side to it. Actually just occurred to me while you were talking about it, that a lot of people, I don't think when they dive in, they realize a benefit that actors and musicians have in their field that I don't see gamers, like professional gamers, getting, is there's nothing we could honestly get royalties on unless you happen to be in one of those fields. Like, what can you get royalties on? You can't get royalties on the game you played. You didn't create the game. So your income is dependent on as active as you currently are. Because when you stop, your income stops. Like, at least with musicians and actors, as they fulfilled their contract, they can continue to make money off of that product years down the road, which is another reason I think there was this big
But
push.
that also comes down with being smart with your money. If you get that income instead of spending it all on extravagant stuff, like some people could invest it, put it in some accounts that build over time, set themselves up while still building themselves. And this is something no one teaches anybody. Like, we have to figure it out ourselves.
That's something.
I think like a really good example of that. And I don't know the exact story of like how he got to where he is now, but if you think of Nate Shot in 100 Thieves, he started off creating content, being pro Call of Duty player, and he built himself a very, like, it's a good esports brand. They've come a long way, and he, and I imagine that the collateral that went into building that brand came from his earnings, the work he put in as a content creator and a Call of Duty player. So he's kind of one of like a good example of like taking that and growing something out of it and setting yourself up in the future. But I agree, a lot of people don't do that currently who do make it big. A lot of people are just like, yo, I made money and let me get me a Maserati now, but going to the royalties thing, I think that's an avenue that may appear in the future, honestly, because humans are always looking for ways to make money, make profit.
Somebody has
on
to
something.
create it.
And like, exactly. And I open up YouTube and I see like a lot of people reposting like Nadia clips and stuff like that. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, she doesn't make any money from other people getting views and stuff.
But
off
she does get more
content.
people coming to her now because they see someone random posted it and like, oh, let me go to the source.
But we're making an assumption there. We don't know for sure that she is getting reviews. We're assuming that she probably is, but there's also a chance that she's not.
Yeah.
But specifically just on the royalties part of it, like there is no there is no connection from like people using your content to, getting some of that back, which, like you said, actors get that. You put that in their clause, their contracts, and they make, there's people making, was that Stranger Things song? That went
Running up that hill.
again.
Yeah,
She was
Running Up
making
the
money
Hill.
like 30,
Running
yeah,
Up That
right that hill
Hill.
30 years later, making tons of money from it. So
Also,
Yeah.
young people don't realize how good music was in the 80s.
we're gonna say that
We're gonna say
in like
that
20
in
years. I already
50
start to
years
say
from
that.
now,
I'm always like,
yeah.
oh, what is this stuff? What is Gen Z listening
I think
to nowadays?
I think as far as royalties go, I think we
I'm
might
old
start
now.
seeing like more electronic royalties in the sense of like personalized logos and emojis and NFTs.
NFTs,
electronic
yeah.
cards. I think we're going to start seeing those
There's
become used more and more.
Fuck, what are they called? There's a bunch of streamers started having a pre-built PC company. Fuck, what's their name? Starforge, sorry, because their logo is like supposed to be a hammer, but it looks like a cock and balls just like launching up in the sky.
Jesus.
Yeah, but
Hey, it worked. You remembered it.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Like,
At least he remembered it.
They're called Starforge, so it's a bunch of streamers that collaboratively started this company where they have pre-built PCs for people who want to start streaming or at least get a decent gaming rig for about a fair price as you're going to get for pre-built.
Now that works because it's something outside of the gaming realm that they built. It's not gaming. Like what I'm thinking is like, how can people who've made their career off of it? Because even with Ninja, he has things he could collect royalties on because he created merchandise. There's content created for like based off of him that he can collect for life.
I also think Ninja's a bad example because he got like what $100 million sign-in bonus for what was that fucking streaming service that crashed and burned?
Mixer.
Didn't he get like $50 million, $100 million?
I thought it was a 10 million.
It was
deal.
a big deal.
Either way, he's not a good example because even if he doesn't get royalties, he's still pretty set. I mean, $10 million, you're good for life.
Yeah, but you could argue. I don't know if you could argue that because then look at all the A-list stars out there who are still getting royalties for work, or the musicians who still get royalties. Like that's a nature. Like they have a lot of money, but
I think it's safe to say that it's
a lot of people.
How
work
many of
for
them
it.
get the royalty checks in and be like, oh, $100,000? Oh yeah, whatever.
There are some.
Needless to say, there's a lot of room for potential growth and opportunity there in the royalties area in streaming and content creation.
I think the avenue will be NFTs.
There's a lot of
once more people understand it and it becomes more mainstream. I see it being NFTs. Like you're a streamer, and anyone gets this idea, I hereby declare royalties on it. Since we've already proven that a lot of the stuff we speak about winds up happening. But no, seriously, I think NFTs will be the way that it goes when every streamer learns how to make NFTs. And then not only are you like on Twitch, everyone has their cool little emotes, but now it's like, hey, take my emote with you as an NFT and put it and use it wherever you want.
See, that's the idea. Is that what an NFT is? I'm so good with tech and gaming, and I can't for the life of me still understand an NFT.
I can't wrap my head.
Right. I can't wrap my head around it. I got a better way of explaining an NFT, all right? So let's say you have $1, like a paper government bill dollar, right? And you go and like make a copy with the paper machine, front and back. And now someone says, oh, I also have $1, but it's not legal. It's not set because it's not under the government rule. You know what it is? So even though you printed out a fake dollar, like people would take a screenshot, there I have the picture. It's not that specific picture. It's not that dollar that's actually worth something. You have a copy, which is a fake.
I feel like you explained it in cartel lingo for some reason.
Did you like Yuli explained it, and I know less now.
So like
what?
So let's say you have $1.
I understand.
You're fired.
You have $1.
You stop.
You have $1. You have $1 bill, right? And you copy it.
You're gonna use the same analogy that I didn't understand.
Okay.
How do you not understand that?
Okay.
Tachi's right. I did use it in cartel lingo, but
here's the thing, right? So I understand the way you explain it, right? So like you're saying, that one Mona Lisa that's out there, that's the legitimate one. You can make a copy of it. You don't have the real one, but it's what's confusing to me and what I can't grasp is that NFTs are digital, right?
Yeah.
They're digital.
Yes.
So I think of it as like a wallpaper, for instance. We're talking about art, and I hope I don't offend any artists out there. But like, okay, this person purchased the original file of this art, right? But I'm just as satisfied to have a wallpaper copy of it on my computer. Like I can't touch it. So to me, it is the same thing, whether it is
I think
the one file or a screenshot version of it that is in the same high quality that is now on my wallpaper.
Think of it like
that's how it is to me. Like I can't wrap my head around the whole like one of a kind digital things because digital things are not tangible.
And I totally understand.
Someone else can
I'm huge in
repaint the Mona
thing.
Lisa with the same brushes and the same paint used, and it's not the real Mona Lisa still.
But there's but that's I can touch that.
So
that's where I struggle is the non-tangible thing.
That's the thing that throws me off. And I know that other people understand that part, and it's just maybe I'm as an older millennial.
We're the generation. we're the tail end of the generation that humanity has evolved to the concept of tangible trading. We believe in the tangible. If we can't touch it, it doesn't have value. That's us right now.
And I agree that it is kind of like it's like, when we have judged if we've judged older people older than us who don't understand the internet or computer, right? This is sort of like the same thing that War Nurse and I are going through right now. It's like we are now the boomers.
Who are not I don't get it. I don't understand.
And there's a level of like pride and almost arrogance in us when it comes to tech and internet and gaming, because we were there when it started and we were there when it grew and evolved. And I'll be damned if I won't come across something that I can't do.
We watched it.
But it's weird. Like, I understand the metaverse. I understand that.
The metaverse makes sense, and that's only because I love Digimon.
Here's a good thought for you then. Here's a good thought for you on the power of an NFT. Think of it, the metaverse, right? As NFTs evolve, they can transition into things like the metaverse. So it's like trading cards. You can get a card for my example, I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Thousands of people can have the exact same card I have, but there's different prints of said card of different rarities. So while you may have the wallpaper version, that's the equivalent of, and soon in the future, it'll be the equivalent of just saying, hey, I went to the shady guy down the street and got a fake copy that I can't actually sell for anything. But if you get the chain block copy.
Oh, here we go. See,
I'm not going to go deep. I'm not deep diving into chain block. I'm not deep diving into chain block.
Who's verifying the authenticity of my NFT? Like,
it just
I could just have it, and nobody could know outside of me that it's legitimate. Like, where am I displaying it? Who's off? Like, who's verifying it? Like, I don't.
Well, if you create it yourself, basically, it's a way for anyone to create their own merchandise. Like, you don't have to go to, buy 1,000 shirts. You don't have to go and, make a brick and mortar store. If you have an idea and you say for yourself, I think my emotes are amazing. You have your artists can't even talk. Artists make your emote, right? And then you pay for the rights. So it's yours. You don't owe them anything else. And then you convert that into an NFT. You are the only owner of the original copies.
But what keeps someone from copying that and claiming that it was
that's where the chain block comes in. There's a code programmed into that digital.
That's what a chain block is?
Yes. That's how it's tracked.
Yes, but what's the penalty for copying?
You can sue them into oblivion. You can sue them.
Can you legally do that currently in current laws?
Yes.
I know there's a lot of legal issues in Europe right now over it.
Could I go to court? Like, could you go to court? Like, could you buy an NFT?
If you can prove,
take them to court.
If you can prove that you own the rights to that, yes, you could.
The reason it can be taken to court is because, like we all say, money is behind it now. Since money is behind it, someone's going to want to touch like a little bit of it. So someone's always going to try to get more out of it.
Yeah, you can go to a court for anything. If you have the records and the evidence to back it, you're going to win.
I mean, a girl took her parents to court for having given birth to her without her consent. I thought that was fake, but it was actual.
She win that or
she won
How'd
at
that go for
first.
her?
Yes, she won at first because you know how modern society that's a thing. But then they appealed it and she lost the second time. Her parents appealed it and then she lost.
Yeah.
It was like reverse child support. They had to pay for her living expenses and everything. It was a thing. And I was like,
what road are we going down right now?
A road where we're gonna live Fallout 4 in real life.
Welcome to modern society.
Being human is weird.
It's fun out here.
But no, like I think NFTs will fully reach their maturity when we're too old to give a shit.
I just think there needs to be like an authoritative force. And I know that
so a big bank behind
really, it? Well, no, not necessarily a big bank. And I know that is a thing for crypto and NFTs they're very against. Everybody who's very involved in that is very against that. But I don't know how to verify authenticity of something somebody else says they have when it's easy to code and hack things.
It's not that easy to code.
I just feel like I need something
tangible.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to touch it.
Yeah,
I think
kind of the same.
With my own hands.
Same sentiment there.
I think in the metaverse, NFTs would see a boom because it's a universe that's completely digital. And digital just makes sense. I mean, skins in games, they're not tangible. And we've been accepting of that for years.
See, all of this stuff is in...
You've been accepting of that.
The metaverse.
I mean, as a collective, I'm not a fan of it at all.
No, I know. I get it. No, I don't know. I think I'm of the mindset that like everything digital is not safe.
See,
growing up in it, I've seen too many flaws over time. Everything that is thought to be completely secure, unhackable, has always been proven wrong. So I guess that's part of why I feel like I will roll with the times.
At this point, there's no point because we're all digital.
Unsure about it.
We all have bank accounts with digital money, basically, that can get hacked and stolen at any time. We're not sleeping with money under our mattresses. None of that.
Hey, you don't know.
When I had brought up Digimon earlier with the metaverse and stuff, if you play, I don't know if any of y'all played Digimon Cyber Sleuth, but that's what the metaverse. We're not boomers. That's what. It's a new game. It came out like 4 years ago. That's what it was. Like they transported themselves into a metaverse and they could touch and taste and interact with everything around them. And then everything was digital and stuff. And then Digimon appeared.
Warner, do you think as humans, if we were able to go into like a Digimon world, people would touch and taste things instead of doing other things?
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right there.
We've seen the internet, Warners. We know there's Xenoverse people out there.
What's next, Itachi?
Okay. Final thoughts for the episode. Who's excited for Pokemon this week?
Oh, man.
I'm pretty excited, but I actually have not pre-ordered the game yet. And that's not because I'm not excited, but I have a lot of end of year plans that are going to keep me away from my Switch. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited that the graphics are closer to Arceus or almost identical to Arceus. I thought that was a good direction in terms of graphics for the game. I will say though, like the Pokemon franchise has always kind of disappointed me in the sense of like every title is some sort of new mechanic, whether it's like Mega Evolution
to Gigantamaxing.
I wasn't a fan of the Mega stuff.
No, just keep it consistent.
So do you guys want some funny
like the Z moves?
Some lore, a little bit of lore on why they switched from Mega Evolution to Gigantamaxing?
Yes,
so
I would love to know actually.
In Pokemon lore, and it's actually in the games, but a lot of people don't actually read the Pokedexes. Mega Evolution is actually very depressing because it was pushing the Pokemon beyond where they were meant to evolve, that it actually was by the lore causing them physical and mental harm. And then when people actually started reading into the Mega Evolutions, like I think one of the ones that stood out to people was Alakazam, obviously because it was at the top of the Pokedex in alphabetical order. It was actually, he always had nonstop headaches. We're talking severe. Like think of the worst headache you've ever had.
Oh, I'm Mega Evolution that motherfucker every day.
That's what he was going through the entire time he was Mega Evolving. And then people would start reading into the Mega Evolutions, and then people who actually read the manga, they were like, yo, this is dark. This is too dark. So then Game Freak was like, you know what? Yeah, you're kind of right. So that's why they did away with Mega Evolution and brought in Gigantamaxing, because it's not harmful to the Pokemon. And they now know that the people paying attention to the lore are us. We grew up with it. So we actually are a little more invested, and we're like curious, and we started doing the research, and it's like, this is dark.
Well,
this is depressing.
Hold up. That's dark, but not kidnapping these monsters and then forcing them into battles is not dark. That's
hey,
normal.
they changed the anime quite a bit over the years to make it more about the Pokemon. Now is like, I want to go with you, and then he's like, okay, come
yeah, cool.
It's changed.
After you, yes, it's Stockholm syndrome. I've kidnapped you for 12 weeks.
I don't want to hear anyone complain about how dark the anime is if they haven't read some of the comics, man, because some of the comics are horribly dark.
I don't know if I read legitimate manga, but I had a copy of one where there was like actual blood in it.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Pokemon is not. It was not originally meant to be
not child
kid
friendly as it is now.
Yeah, it was not. It wasn't meant to be. It just became that. Also, I'm also glad that my prediction for how this new version was going to be was accurate, because when they dropped Pokemon Arceus, I was like, this is how they're planning to do the new one. Everyone was like, I don't know. Pokemon's pretty stuck on it. I was like, they just came out with Shield. So I was like, nah, bro.
It was an experiment for sure.
This was an experiment.
What, Arceus? Yeah.
And I think they want to go in the more mature route with their Pokemon games, because they know, honestly, we're the ones playing it. So I think they feel a little bit more comfortable taking on, the more, I don't want to say realistic, because nothing about Pokemon is realistic, but they want to get more closer to their core content, like where Pokemon stemmed from.
I need them to make those games a little bit harder again. Like when I was a kid, there was nobody in the cave to heal me.
Yeah, for real.
Like you went in and you needed to bring enough.
You went in, and a lot of times you did not come out.
Yes. Or now it's like every 5 seconds somebody's healing you up. I'm like,
let me heal you.
You go halfway through the cave and you're like, oh my god, I need it, just get through it. And you got an escape rope and you're like, should I use it, or can I struggle with this one Pokemon at 10 health? Like,
it made you.
The worst is
it made you consider your Pokemon types, what was left over, and like the strategy going forward, and what you should do more than it does now.
The worst was like you're half dead trying to get through the tunnel, and then as you're like walking forward, out of nowhere you get frozen there, and like Team Rocket just pops out. It's like, let's battle.
Oh, that's the worst.
This is not the time.
It's not get your goofy asses out of here. I don't have time for you.
Gary is shaking his head at all the new rivals. Heal them. Man, if you don't get your ass out of here, I ain't healing him. I'm gonna jump him when he's weak.
Yeah, we need some new Garys, because he was a menace.
The head of
he was
the head of Team Rocket looking at what are the main ones again called? Fuck.
The main who?
The redhead and the blue head?
Jesse and James?
Jesse and James?
Yeah, I forgot their names for like the hardest time. Like the head of Team Rocket is looking at Jesse and James like, after 25 years, as Ketchum wins the world tournament, like, I see why you wanted that Pikachu.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we told you that Pikachu was worth it.
Why do you think?
And congratulations to Ash Ketchum.
They waited 25, almost 30 years to let him win.
To milk it?
I mean, technically,
because we were bored of it.
Technically won. Didn't he technically win the Alolan?
But his whole goal was always to be world. Like he never won any of the leagues until like a couple years ago.
I still can't believe he didn't use Charizard. Like of all the Pokemon, he didn't use his most.
No, it's got to be Pikachu. It's got to be Pikachu.
Also, can we talk about how he's died 7 times and no one bats an eye?
Hey, can we talk about how he's still 10?
I want to live in the Pokemon world.
When he first got Pikachu and electrocuted, he actually got sent to a coma, and we're just watching his coma dream.
Oh, I've seen that theory. Yeah.
The only
I don't wake up and still be in Pallet Town.
I don't think the coma dream.
I saw a meme that like
is real.
I saw a meme that he won the league and he still hasn't given Misty a new bike yet after having that.
That's true.
She ain't getting that
That's
bike.
funny. Bike's gone.
Ash is just like, I got something else for you to ride.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's enough of you.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hey now.
Fun fact, Pokemon
You're a rock
originally
star.
was dubbed as one of the categories as a romance, which explains all of his travel companions. The anime just
Really?
Say that again?
Pokemon was dubbed as a romance along with its other genres originally.
So Ash
Hence
has a harem
all his
back
travel
home?
companions.
Listen, I have always been like, oh my God, they're gonna kiss. I think they like teased the kiss once and thinking X and Y.
Yeah.
Or XYZ.
So
And I was like, oh
yeah, they didn't show it, but yeah, in one of them she was the boldest one. And it was like, yeah, she kissed him before she left.
They didn't show him yet, but she kissed him, I think, at like the top of the
Yep.
escalator in one of the final episodes. And I was going insane. I'm a very big romance.
Good for Ash.
TV, books,
That man's been through a
anime,
lot.
K-dramas. I watch all of it in romance, and I was like, yes, ship this.
Pokemon finally, that's what I'm saying. Pokemon is taking those steps. The movies, they've gotten a little darker. The show touches on things it never would have in the original series. And once again, Ash has died 7 doggone times. The only reason I say that the coma thing is probably not real is because it's already been stated that there's alternate timelines in the Pokemon franchise. So maybe in one of them he's in a coma, but for all the other branching timelines, he's definitely not.
So these are alternate timelines. We're just watching Ash in different universes just go through it.
Based,
I mean, that's probably why Pikachu resets to like level 3
Yeah.
every time he gets to a new region.
Apparently.
yeah, and why?
Because
Ash
at this
is
point,
dead
he should
every
be just
time.
wrecking everybody. Because when he takes his
should be.
Pikachu to a
Pikachu
new
should
region,
just look at him.
yeah, he takes
So,
his
hold on,
Pikachu to a
did
new region. I'm like, how are you not
Pokemon
wrecking
Rick
these
and Morty us
Pokemon?
before Rick and Morty?
Pokemon's been Rick and Morty in us, yes, long before Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Even the games are in
I
varying
do- I-
timelines.
But when it comes to like things like this, right? Like any major franchise, like, do you think that it's better? And maybe there's an obvious answer to this, but do you think it's better for franchises to cater to the audience that started the franchise? So, like, say, look at Pokemon, right? It would be us when we were kids, and like, you know, now we're adults, we got the money, we can spend it. Or should they cater it now to like the youth, the kids now? And it, you know, it's sort of like Pokemon sort of seems like it kind of went in that way for a while, and maybe now it's kind of maturing a bit. But that is always like a thing that I think franchises have to deal with. Like Call of Duty, for instance, you know, like
Yeah.
doesn't really seem like they're catering too much to the OG players.
Well, now
it's
they
much
are.
more like, how do we get new players in there?
That's a tough one.
And
That is
then-
honestly a tough one because you don't want to isolate new people from trying it, but you don't want to abandon those that help make you who you are today.
Yeah.
So
I think Overwatch is an example of that too. Overwatch 2 is they made it such a big priority to be more welcoming to new
Yeah.
players. Like I never played Overwatch 1 because it looked intimidating to me, honestly. And I like FPS, but there's such a strong community behind Overwatch.
that is a very strong community.
But I've tried Overwatch 2 and I've enjoyed it, and it's been a little bit more user friendly for me who's never played it before.
I play a lot of Overwatch, and I've played it for years. And like what you're saying is absolutely right. And it's really difficult to get consistent like playing with people. I think because of that reason. I know like there's been a lot of times where I've mentioned like, hey, I play Overwatch. You want to come join? And there's that kind of hesitation, like, what kind of person are you? Kind of, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I've ever associated Overwatch to a personality type, but I've definitely experienced the hesitation of just being like, ooh, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
Because there's I'm not gonna know what's happening. Everybody else knows what's happening. Yeah.
I say they could all take a page out of From Software's book and Elden Ring it. Elden Ring was a good example of welcoming new players while still being loyal.
Yeah, but
to
that's a
their
story.
established
That's a
families.
storyline game, and that's just not going to work with a FPS game.
Well, I mean, we were talking like franchises in general, and it could work. It could work if it just would be a little bit trickier. They would just have to be willing to disappoint the gatekeepers, which honestly, I think anyone in any game, even my favorite games, if you're a gatekeeper, I don't care about your feelings because games are supposed to be welcoming to everyone. So the only ones that would be offended by it are the gatekeepers. So like as a good example, Elden Ring was that good medium to open it up to new players while still keeping us happy. I've played From Software games since Demon's Souls is all those daggone S's. And I was happy that they let new faces in because I actually got to connect with more people. Like if this boss was kicking my ass, I knew I could summon someone. Back in Demon's Souls, you got good. You didn't have anyone helping you. You had more chance of someone invading you and ruining your day. But like with Elden Ring, like look how much fun the three of us had because they just made it so more accessible. So I think Pokemon's trying to go that way.
Fun the three of us had just triple teaming one person into rage.
We were pretty toxic.
That's something that Overwatch 2 is going to be doing. Adding storylines and gameplay. They haven't added it yet.
Yeah, I've seen the they've got the lore behind the characters, which is I barely scratched the surface, but a lot of my friends who are very hardcore Overwatch players really enjoy that content. That really makes it a much more full-bodied experience.
Well, they're going to add playable storylines.
In the game. Oh, that's cool.
That's something that they plan to do.
I was going to say that, like, in terms of, like, franchises, this is not really a franchise, but, like, I don't know if you've heard of RuneScape.
Yeah.
I've played that on and off since I was 12. I'm 32 now.
That game's addicting.
So it's been a long time. But I logged on recently and I noticed that they've also kind of shifted gears and are trying to bring in new players. This game is 20 years old, a little bit over 20 years old now, and they've started these things called Fresh Start Worlds, which you make an account on that server, you get like triple XP to get people up to speed faster, because a lot of the good stuff you really can't unlock unless you put a lot of effort into the game. And it's been interesting to kind of see how companies are approaching OG players and new players and trying to keep the business going with so much competition out there now in the gaming world.
Yeah, it's tricky to do that without, like, you want fresh people to come in, but you also don't want to give too much to upset older players who put in all the work. It's always like a tricky area.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of stuff covered in this episode. And I like this, because we got to cover, like, talk about Call of Duty and talk about content creation and gaming and get to, get some thoughts out there. And who knows, a lot of people probably share in these thoughts. So this was really good. Definitely a nice way to end our year for our publicly available GZ Chop Shop. But before we wrap up, BulletMaiden, where can everybody find you?
Oh yeah, you can find me as TheBulletMaiden on Twitch and YouTube.
So guys, make sure to hit her up. Check out her live streams. If you're a Call of Duty fan, then you definitely want to be there. And make sure to follow her on social media. She posts some very hilarious clips. I've actually been finding them very enjoyable. They're pretty funny.
Yeah. I guarantee I will make you laugh.
As for us, guys, make sure to hit us up as well on social media. You can hit us up on Twitter, the GZ Chop Shop, or you can find us out on the web at osn-media.com, where you can find all of our podcasts, the GZ Chop Shop, Afterthoughts After Dark, and Gunpowder Red, all in one nice spot for your binging pleasure. And if you want to catch some of the podcasts that we'll be doing for our Patreons, patreon.com/OSN Media. There you will get the exclusive episodes, exclusive podcasts, early releases to all of these ad-free, and early access to the YouTube videos and full episodes as well. So it's definitely worth checking out. I promise you will not be disappointed. And visit our merchandise shop. I can't talk. It's like the end of the day. I'm tired. I can't talk.
How you doing?
The GZShop.com. Visit it. Get all that cool merch and wear it. And thank you, everybody who's been getting the merch. We see you guys. We really appreciate it. Love you guys. And if you got any comments or thoughts on this episode, or heck, you want to, have got a question for the BulletMaiden,
personally blows a kiss every package that leaves the factory.
Sure. Yes, that's exactly what I do. Wink, wink. But you can also submit your video and audio clips with your questions on the website. Just go to the GZ Chop Shop podcast episode and
also who you want to answer it, because sometimes you don't want me answering your questions.
Everyone but Yuli. can answer the questions.
God.
You will get wholesome answers. Yuli will just let us know that there's a question. But he won't answer them, I promise. Anyway, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us through this year. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself and each other. Catch all of you wonderful people the next podcast in 2023. Later.